Welcome to the TUE Brew Review. This week we are checking out Session Ale. This comes from Moor's Brewing Company out of Chicago. It is Black History Month, so I thought I would try a beer that is brewed as their, I believe their label says, Chicago's Black-owned brewery. So one of the founders of this brewery discovered that less than 1% of all craft brewers in the United States are owned by the African American community, so he went out to help change that. So let's go ahead and get into this beer. Comes in this 16-ounce can, 5.4% ABV, which would be in line for kind of a sessionable type of beer. This gentleman on the label, this is Tariq Ibn Jihad. I hope I pronounced that correctly, and I apologize if I messed that up. But he was a general who led the Moors of Northern Africa across the Strait of Gibraltar into Spain during the 8th century, where they ruled for several centuries. And they brought with them the science of fermentation and distillation. And that description is actually on the side of the can here, if you'd care to read that for yourself. And this was actually canned at the 18th Street Brewery, which is in Hammond, Indiana, which borders up against Chicago. And that is also a Black-owned brewer as well. So let's go ahead and crack this guy open. All right. So we've got like a kind of a hazy gold color. I wouldn't say as hazy as like a hazy IPA, but you know, it's a bit cloudy. But I really like the nice foamy, thick, persistent head. It's got a really nice white, persistent head retention. So aromas, getting some really nice citrus, like lemongrass, definitely type of aromas. Also getting some hop resins in there. And there's a little touch of sweet grain in there to give it a little bit of a sweet balance, but the lemongrass and the resin really comes through. Cheers. So the flavor is also citrusy, like lemon, lime citrusy. But again, I'm getting a nice little kind of a malty sweetness that really helps offset that initial citrus bite. Really interesting texture to this beer too. It's got a really creamy mouthfeel, and with the mouthfeel and the head retention, this probably has a percentage of oats in the grain bill, I'm guessing, because that does help with the head retention and the kind of that smoothness and creaminess. But even with that kind of creamy texture, that piney hop finish, it's not overpowering, but it definitely lingers in the finish, and it lets you know it's there. So I'd call this more of maybe like a hazy session IPA or maybe an American Pale Ale, but it's really good, man. It pops with some really bright citrus flavors, but it's not heavy. And I really like the texture. That mouthfeel is very interesting and very pleasant on the palate. So here is to more minority-owned entrepreneurs having the opportunity to run their own ship and produce more great beers. I am here for it. Cheers.